My heart hammered against my ribs as I stared at the pregnancy test on the bathroom counter. 2 pink lines. Unmistakable. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead, casting harsh shadows across my face in the mirror. A face I barely recognized. Pale. Terrified. The cold tile floor sent shivers up my bare feet, while the scent of my roommate's vanilla candle suddenly made my stomach lurch. I'm Eliza Chen, 32 years old, and I just discovered I'm pregnant with my dead husband's baby. A medical miracle. A nightmare. A gift. Eliza, you've been in there for 20 minutes. My sister's voice filtered through the door, concern evident in her tone. Are you okay? I couldn't answer. My throat closed as I picked up the test with trembling fingers. David had been gone for 4 months. The embryo freezing had been his idea, just in case. He'd said with that optimistic smile I fell in love with 10 years ago. Cancer wasn't supposed to take him so quickly. I need a minute, I finally managed, my voice cracking. The bathroom walls seemed to close in. 4 months ago, I'd signed papers to have the embryos destroyed. I couldn't imagine raising our child alone, couldn't bear the thought of seeing David's eyes looking back at me from a child he'd never meet. I'd made peace with that decision. But here I was. Pregnant. Impossible, yet undeniable. My phone buzzed on the counter. Dr. Patel, call me when you have the results. 3 months earlier. The procedure failed, Mrs. Chen. I'm sorry. Dr. Patel's office smelled of antiseptic and artificial lavender. We'll schedule the disposal of the remaining embryos as requested. I nodded, numb. David's mother had begged me to try just once, for closure, she said. For David. I'd agreed, expecting failure, almost hoping for it. Are you sure about disposing of the others? Dr. Patel asked gently. Some patients prefer to. I'm sure, I interrupted. I can't keep holding on. That night I dreamt of David. We were in our favorite coffee shop, sunlight streaming through windows. You always were stubborn, he said, smiling over his cup. I'm being realistic, I argued. How could I possibly do this alone? He reached across the table, his hand warm on mine. You've never been alone, Liz. I woke up crying. The next day I called Dr. Patel and canceled the disposal. I need more time, I told her. Of course, she said. Take all the time you need. Present day. My sister knocked again. Eliza, please, you're scaring me. I opened the door. Maya's eyes widened at the sight of the test in my hand. How is this possible? She whispered. I never went through with it, I admitted. I couldn't. Oh my God. She pulled me into a hug. What are you going to do? The question hung between us. What would I do? I was a widow with a demanding career and a heart still shattered into pieces. But I was also the woman who had loved David Chen enough to promise him forever. I'm terrified, I said, my voice steadier than I expected. But I think I want this. Maya pulled back, studying my face. Are you sure? No. I laughed through tears. I'm not sure of anything, but David always said that the best things in life happen when we're brave enough to be uncertain. I placed a hand on my still flat stomach. The panic was still there, but something else too, a tiny flicker of possibility. I always thought I couldn't do this without him, I said. But maybe that's not true. Maybe he's still here, just differently than I expected. That night, I sat on my balcony watching the city lights, the pregnancy test still in my pocket. The world hadn't changed, but something in me had shifted. The future I'd carefully reconstructed after David's death was gone, replaced by something unknown. I don't know if I'm ready, I whispered to the night sky, but I'm willing to find out. For the first time in months, the weight on my chest felt lighter. Not gone, never gone, but bearable, transformable, like grief itself, becoming something new.